Many firearms that we as civilians see on the market were presented to the United States military but turned down. So what we're going to take a look at is we're going to take a look at the top 10 best guns that the U.S. military turned down. Number 1, the Winchester Model 1895. This rifle was revolutionary for its time, firing the 30-40 Krag, box magazine fed. What an awesome firearm this was, designed to replace the Model 1894 with bigger and faster firing. A few of these rifles did make their way into the U.S. military, but they were quickly rejected because what was brought on was the M1898, also firing the 30-40 Krag, but in bolt action. Number 2, the AR-10. The AR-10 is what the AR-15 was originally designed to be. The AR-10 is pretty much an AR-15, just firing the 308 or the 7.62 NATO. The AR-10 would have been significantly more successful when the AR-15 was introduced in Vietnam as the M16 than the M16 ever was. They had so many problems with the M16. Many service members were found dead with jammed AR-15 rifles. The AR-10 firing the 308 would have been significantly better. Even to this very day, the AR-10 is a much better option than the AR-15 for U.S. service rifles. Number 3, the Sig Sauer P226. The 226 was a variant of the original 220, then the 225, but as the United States was looking for a double-stack 9mm handgun to replace the M1911, Sig Sauer introduced the Sig P226. What a fantastic handgun. Still today, the best handgun that Sig Sauer makes. But the P226 was rejected for the Beretta 92. Number 4, the Swiss-made Schmidt Rubin M96. When the U.S. military was looking for a firearm, when they adopted the M1898 bolt rifle firing the 30-40 Krag, Schmidt Rubin out of Switzerland submitted the M96 to the U.S. military. Now, I believe this is the most accurate military rifle that was made before the 1980s. The Schmidt Rubin M96 is still today one of the most accurate bolt rifles ever made, and it's a much faster straight pull design than a 4-motion bolt. And unfortunately, this awesome Swiss rifle was rejected also for the M1898. But it was only a few years later that Springfield 1903 then replaced it. Number 5, the Browning High Power. I mean, come on, it's the Browning High Power. How could the Browning High Power not replace the M1911? The Browning High Power has been the sidearm of militaries around the world and is renowned as being the very first and the most successful of these double-stack 9mm handguns that were coming out during this trial period. But of course, the Browning High Power was also beat out by the Beretta 92. Number 6, the Mauser 98. Similarly to the Schmidt Rubin, it was also introduced to be the U.S. service rifle. The Mauser 98 is believed to be the best bolt-action rifle possibly ever made in the history of bolt rifles. Many modern bolt rifles taking designs from the Mauser 98, but the Mauser 98, just like the Schmidt Rubin, was declined for the M1898. Number 7, the Glock 17. Many service members around the world will argue that the Glock is the best sidearm on the market right now for military and police. Why has the Glock 17 never been brought on by the U.S. military? It is a tank. It is a workhorse. Truly understanding why the U.S. military hasn't picked up a Glock at some point as their primary sidearm just kind of blows me out of the water. It's something I don't know if I'll ever understand, and I believe there's more than just Beretta was better than Glock, because Beretta 92 is not better than a Glock 17, and I think all of us really know that to be true. I think there's a lot of politics in this. For whatever reason, Glock has just kind of been brandished from the U.S. military. Number 8, the H&K VP70. Dang, this firearm is awesome. When people brought their sidearms to replace the 1911, H&K brought the VP70. It was a double stack 9mm, just like all the others. The big difference being the H&K VP70 predated the Glock 17 by having a polymer frame. It was really one of the first most successful polymer frame handguns, predating again Glock. But something that the VP70 had that none of these other firearms had was a 3-round burst. That is very significant when it comes to a military sidearm, and none of the other firearms had it. So to turn down a handgun with a high capacity 9mm round that has the ability to switch between semi-automatic and 3-round bursts, why the U.S. military hadn't picked that up, I'll never know, because it also came with an attachable stock. Number 9, the Styer ACR. The Styer ACR style rifle is what most militaries are picking up today. So to have it way back in the 80s, to have had the technology that most militaries are only hoping for today, back in the 80s, and to have rejected the Styer bullpup 5.56 or 7.62 design out of a bullpup Styer, I mean, come on, military. Why is that not something that the military hasn't adopted? Because, again, militaries around the world are just now being thankful that they're able to pick up rifles like the Styer that the U.S. military rejected 30 years ago. And finally, number 10, the Colt SSP. The Colt SSP, what an amazing gun. This is Colt's take essentially on really a CZ75 design. Ultimately what Colt did was they were trying to, again, they were producing a handgun that would replace the M1911. And the Colt SSP was exactly that. It was a double stack 9mm, but much like the beloved Sig P210 and the CZ75, it was an internal rail design. But this Colt SSP, it is a darn shame that this one got away. That this is a pistol that, you know, I've even looked for these online. I can't even find any for sale anywhere. But man, if I ever came across a Colt SSP, I'm going to nab it up quick. And I wish the military would have thought a similar thought. So there you go. There's what I believe to be the 10 best guns that the U.S. military has turned down. Love to hear your thoughts on all this. I'm sure there's some I didn't mention. Put it in the comments below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel through Patreon. That link is also below. But the most important part of this channel, we take prayer requests. So please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, love guns. Well, there you go, Austin.